I have seen the light, I have achieved heaven, and it has given me the foresight to declare the 2024 award winners. Now it's time for you to know. Let's start with a big one. MVP. Finalists: Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Jayson Tatum. The winner: Jason Christopher Tatum. The MVP has three main factors when considering a winner: ability/ranking, team success, and narrative. And all of them lead to Jayson Tatum winning. Coming off the tight-ass MVP race that was last year, this current season has a lot to live up to. Last year provided consistent narrative switches, from Jokic averaging a triple-double on 70% true shooting, to Giannis reaching the 1 seed of a broken team, to Joel Embiid leading the league in scoring, and his pity narrative. Now for the current finalists, they all have similar narratives pushing their case, but someone isn't holding up. Luka has been the NBA's wonder boy since he came in the league. He's been the face of the international basketball superiority narrative, has been called better than LeBron at his age, and his Luka magic has had the fans banking on him being the next GOAT. Even though the closest thing to a GOAT right now exists in Giannis Antetokounmpo, when in a time of player movements and super teams, he got himself a ring, an easy finals MVP, a defensive player of the year, 2 regular season MVPs, 5 first teams, 7 All-NBAs, and top 75, all by the age of 28. Now with this first round loss in the playoffs and the recent acquisition of his perfect partner Damian Lillard, he's coming for the East that has been run by Jayson Tatum and his Boston Celtics, who in just 5 years has 3 All-NBAs, a finals appearance, 3 conference finals appearances, and 3 regular season MVP placements. So who is narratively lacking? Giannis. While Luka's stocks have definitely dropped since he missed the playoffs alongside Kyrie, Giannis lost in the first round, and despite only playing 2 games in that series, people now call into question his playoff translation, especially when you look at his entire history and not just his championship run. So while adding Dame mitigates his chance of failure, the media places significance on the help that's around you when factoring in your case. So being next to a perfect pairing, whilst already being viewed negatively, simply hurts his chances, even though the Bucks will likely finish higher than Jayson Tatum in player rankings and seating. But what's hurting Luka's chances isn't his play or his view, it's his team's success. The Luka magic hasn't stopped, in fact it's only got better, but he's surrounded by a bunch of magicless peasants, players that can't seriously win, a second round exit max, especially in this competitive ass West. With only 5 highly contentious MVPs winning as a 4 seed or lower, the Mavericks have to get past the current champion Nuggets, the bucket getter Suns, the never ending dynasty Warriors, the LeBron and AD led Lakers, the endless potential Pelicans, the trade hungry Clippers, and maybe even the Ant-Man in Minnesota. Meanwhile, Tatum is loved by the media due to his Kobe obsession and his beautiful relationship with his son. He's currently top 5 at only 24 years old and finished second in the entire league last year, going all the way to the conference finals. Even with the acquisition made this offseason, it's not a major enough move to make a super team, while still getting good enough to potentially finish higher than the Bucks. On top of the fact giving Jayson Tatum his first MVP at 25 while being a championship contender would put him on an all-time trajectory, which the media is desperate to push on any young star. Rookie of the Year. Finalists: Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama, Asar Thompson. Winner: Victor Wembanyama. This was overwhelmingly easy, so much so I almost didn't include the runner-ups. Look at him. Look! 7'5" pulling up off the dribble, 7'5" towering over KD, 7'5" clutching up against a title contender. In every manner he's living up to his expectations, which for the greatest prospect since LeBron is all-time production. Through 5 games he's averaging 21 and 8 with 2 blocks and a steal, and even has the Spurs in a playoff spot sitting at 7th. It won't last, but I would have expected them being 0-5 by now. Nonetheless, he's got them there by simply being unguardable. At 7'5", he could probably post-hook his way to 20 points, but the fact he shoots 40% from the long 2 and 32% from 3, with their lead guard being Jeremy Sohan, shows he's creating to the level we thought he could. And that's not even mentioning his defensive impact, oh lord. So while Asar Thompson is rapidly developing, and Chet Holmgren is easily the second best rookie with his own 17-7-3 on great splits, what we are seeing from Wemby doesn't give them an angle where Wemby could lose. Coach of the Year. Finalist: Jason Kidd, Willie Green, Joe Mazzulla. Winner: Jason Kidd. I've learnt anything from Coach of the Year voting is that coaching factors in the least. What truly matters is shock value and record. Take last year for example. Mike Brown won it after finishing 3rd in the West with a Kings team who hadn't been to the playoffs since the early 2000s, and because no one conceived the idea of the Kings making the playoffs, let alone being top 3 in the conference, the turnaround won Mike Brown the award. So keeping in line with the values, it only makes sense for Jason Kidd to win. Not only did the Mavericks not make the playoffs last year,
but
ended with a losing record and horrible team construction for the future, which isn't too dissimilar to other candidate Willie Green, who after losing Zion once again in the middle of the season, fell from the 1 seed to 9th and lost in the play-in. Now in this current season, the Pelicans are 4-2 and the Mavericks are 5-1. What separates them is the talent on the roster. The reason the Mavericks fell out of playoff contention last year is because in trading for Kyrie, they lost heavy contributors to their defense and killed a lot of their depth. Then their offseason moves consisted of signing Markieff Morris, Derrick Jones Jr. and extending current pieces. Having them finish, say, top 6 in the conference would exceed a lot of expectations, especially with Kyrie's slow start. But the Pelicans have the potential to finish top 3 in the league like last year, so why wouldn't Willie win? Because their success is heavily predicated on a currently disgruntled Zion Williamson, who, with interpersonal and managerial issues, not only doesn't want to be there, but has a high likelihood to be shut down before the All-Star game, resulting in the team likely falling out of playoff contention once again. Joe Mazzulla is coaching the best team in the league, so he'll always be in the conversation, but the comeback for Kidd would be too great for voters to ignore. Most improved player: Tyler Hero, Tyrese Maxey, Cam Thomas. Winner: Cam Thomas. I think players drafted to contenders are an interesting think piece. When your role in how to contribute to winning basketball is so clearly defined, it allows you to flourish easier, in turn giving you the perception of a winning player. Jordan Poole, Kyrie Irving, Fred VanVleet, all vital contributors to winning teams who haven't stepped up since being removed from that picture, when all they need to do is show their potential, and that is what Cam Thomas is doing right now. A player tripling his point production in a single season is unheard of, yet somehow we should have saw this coming. When he averaged 41 in a 3-game stretch, we should have known that giving him the green light could only lead to success. Now in 34 minutes, he's averaging 29, 4 and 2 on good splits over 7 games. This is clearly Cam establishing himself from a player that had a good stretch to a future scoring champion and maybe even a world champion. Yes, the closest world champion Tyler Hero has been on a tear, but for the 6th man of the year who's only improved by 5 points on 4 more attempts doesn't move me enough to put him above Cam. Yeah, there's not much to say about this. I told you, we achieved heaven, we're moving fast. Defensive Player of the Year. Finalists: Anthony Davis, Jrue Holiday, Jaren Jackson Jr. Winner: Anthony Davis. Where does AD rank all time to you? Where does AD rank as a defender? Where does AD's peak rank? While he has the championship and the great postseason runs, individually he doesn't stand out. Prior to joining the Lakers, his resume consisted of 6 All-Stars, 3 All-NBAs, 3 All-Defensive Teams, and 3 block leaders. Since then, he's only got 2 more All-Stars and 1 more All-NBA. You want to know who had a similar career to AD in less years, with 4 All-NBAs, 6 All-Defensives, 3 All-Stars, and 3 DPOYs? Rudy Gobert. So while AD is having a Rudy Gobert-esque career, he's being considered an all-time power forward. This season is needed to distinguish AD as an all-time player, and he's in the perfect situation to do it. With him looking to be healthy and re-breaking out last year, averaging 26-13 with 2 blocks on above league average true shooting, and having a steadier foundation on the Lakers this year than he's had in the past 3 years, he should be in the best position to win. But the same could be said for Jrue Holiday, no? Not only is he a previous DPOY candidate, but he joined the Celtics in the offseason, the team that was 3rd ranked defense last year, who also added a prolific shot blocker in Kristaps, which will probably catapult them to 1st, and we know how important team impact and rankings is towards winning the award. So why doesn't he have as good an argument? Because the impact he'll have can't be overstated. Award voters hate help more than anything. Look at last year and how Triple J became a candidate for how he anchored the Grizzlies defense, but Jaren won't be able to replicate that again with Dillon Brooks and Ja missing, and Jrue has too much help. Meanwhile, AD is unequivocally the heart and soul of the Lakers defense, meaning they will completely fall apart without him. That level of versatility, importance, and impact will be too much for people not to vote for him, ending with AD finally winning a DPOY, and he might even win a title. But if you want to see who I think is going to win the whole thing, click this video here. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't subscribe if you want, and I'm done. Okay, bye.